Hey everybody, welcome to Dawn of War 3. Today we'll be playing a 3 vs 3 with some randoms while I talk about Dawn of War 3 and like my thoughts on it and all that stuff after it's finally been released and shit. So, a pretty controversial like sort of release, and I think my opinions on Dawn of War 3 have like certainly switched over and over. And like after like sort of like thinking about it and dwelling on it and playing like the matches that I have, I think I've had a lot of hours between like, you know, the open beta and the closed beta and the full game, to the point where I feel like I'm a little bit comfortable with talking about it. So let's get a oh god, this is already Shrek. Wait, already a wall tower? Nope. Yeah, nobody's helping me out, so I'm just gonna back off right here. You know what? Let me go ahead and set up you right here, and then we're good. And then we'll just chill out. You know what? I'll do the same right here. You know what? Let me go ahead and help out top. Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about my opinions when, you know, this game has calmed down, considering that I don't want to really like get into a situation where like I'm playing and then afterwards I fuck up my team and shit by like going on a tangent. Because I actually have to sound intelligent and not say meme, which is a problem. Right, so first things first, let's go through the negatives. I think Dawn of War 3 really caters to team games, like, extremely heavily. And I think the game only works in these team games. Other than that, the game really fails in 1v1s. Now, let's go through it a little bit. First and foremost, let's talk about elite units. Now, elite unit selection by itself isn't bad. I'm okay with elite units being locked. We don't need UA's level of autism where you can have like 3,000 Doomsday monoliths. It really like does not work for balance at all. Like, no, we don't need that. The one thing I'd say, though, is the fact that the way elite units are handled in this game is quite poor. Now, how the fuck am I supposed to... We need more troops over there. They just, like, threw up 3 orc boys.
Rangers. We secured resources for our alliance.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just push down south, I think, because it's just way better. But anyway, the elite units themselves aren't bad, though I keep thinking about this in the back of my mind. Why can't it just be like Dawn of War 1, where you select, like, you can only select, like, 1 unit, and then it's grayed out, and then that's it, like commanders or something? Why couldn't that have been done instead of dumb? I think that was like a way better like way of dealing with it personally. Because by having it sort of like locked to 3, you kind of like rob the player of the choices that he can have access to, which is quite unfortunate. Can you go back there, sir? Get out of here, thank you. Right, so let's just go ahead and hide in there and just chill out for now. Anyway, so it locks you out of the choices that you can have access to. Now, in team games, this is absolutely fine because, like, you're gonna have, like, 2 different, like, people with you who can have, like, their own unique, like, sort of, like, unit roster or elite unit roster. So that's okay. That's, like, absolutely fine. In 1v1s, that's a problem because then you're, like, in 1v1s, you're, like, locked. You have to get a high-level elite unit in order to, like, balance out the rest of the game and like have it tier up to the later stage and all that shit. And then you need early game elite units or you're never gonna do well in the early game. So you're kind of stuck. And it's honestly something that I'm just not a fan of. I'm really not a fan of like locking my choices in general. You know, I'm okay with like having the number of elite units lessened, you know, like have one Land Raider, have one Imperial Knight. I'm okay with that. One Striking Scorpion. But having it so that you have to choose between even like having the option of Striking Scorpions or Warp Spiders at all is really what I'm not a fan of. So that's like one issue that I personally have. What else do I have an issue with? Let's go around with the rest of the team game stuff. First, the escalation of power system. Now, the escalation phase is fine in team games because again, like it like has ways for teams to have comeback potential. It allows like the pace of the game to be dictated and stuff, and it's quite good in like those frantic and extremely like retarded and off, like basically just like end game sort of like battles that happens, right? But then because of that, the 1v1 aspect of the game falters. Reason for this is due to the fact that again, you don't have the agency to end the game. You just simply don't. And that's a really big problem in the game. It's just like the lack of options to end is a big issue. I'm really not a fan of it. Turrets and like shields, I'm fine again in a team scenario because it's comeback potential and all that. But in 1v1s, I'm not. And escalation phase, same thing. There's just a lack of options for the player to do because he can't tech up early in 1v1s because obviously escalation phase. He can't get these units out because escalation phase and resources. He can't do this shit. It's a really big problem. The stingent amount of resources you get in these games is also really annoying as well. And obviously it's to make it so that, again, you're just starving for resources, and in the early game, these small skirmishes happen, and that's where like the battles really matter. And then like the later game, you have like full-on autistic amounts of units. But that's okay because they dictate like the pace to be like that. And again, fine in 1v1 in team games, but not fine in 1v1s. Because then like every single 1v1 is gonna just end and start the exact same way, and it's just not fun at that point to watch or to play. At least with team games, even with a lack of resources, because there's like so many armies duking it out on the field, then it's like a little bit more interesting. You know, it's just something that I'm interested in. Okay, that is a big wow. What the fuck was that? You guys saw that, right? I like, you know, click, and then like all of a sudden these guys jump the other way. A huge problem. Come on, get out of there. I can't do anything about this. I guess the striking scorpions did what they could. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of that, you know? So what else is there?
Battle has escalated to phase 2.
I think the lack of options to even like play in this game is really boring as well. Like, where's the free-for-all? You know, where's like all these different options for the player and all these different game modes? There's just one game mode. Why? Why is there just one game mode? That's terrible. Halo Wars 2 did a really good thing where they were able to balance the old and the new by having the old game modes in Halo Wars 1 with the new game mode in Halo Wars 2, that being Blitz. Now, obviously, they didn't have all the old game modes, like they didn't have like that capture the flag thing or whatever. But you know, it was they did a good balance of old and new. There were different problems that associated with Halo Wars 2, which caused like its declining fan base. But so far, I'm a pretty good fan of like, you know, what they did with the game modes in Halo Wars 2. But Dawn of War 3, they just like they completely neutered the choices that the player has in like how they want to play. You can only play one way, that's it. It's really boring. Really boring. So like I'm not a super duper fan of that as well. What else is there? Well, I think like elite units are a big problem as well in concerns to their elite points. Elite points are kind of like relic points in that you need the elite points in order to like build up the elite unit and stuff. Now I'm fine with a separate resource to control like units, more power to you. I'm not okay, however, with the fact that the elite points are the only resource that you need. Why can't it be requisition power and elite points? That would be really good. Really, really good, especially for like balance. Because otherwise, all you have to do is wait for a couple seconds, save up your elite points, and then bam, you have a Wraith Knight. And how is that balanced? Especially with the amount of like, you know, like power that a Wraith Knight actually has at its disposal.
The requisition generator is under fire. Listening shrine
Wait, how did that guy teleport? Yeah, let me go back there really quick. Get over here, buddy. Push them the hell back. What the fuck was I saying? I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. Shit. Oh yeah, elite points. Yeah, it's just like, it's really bad to have the elite points being the only thing that matters. Really, really bad. Just fucks with the balance a lot. Like, it's just like these things that really coincide to creating like a really inferior experience in the previous Dawn of War. And I mean Dawn of War, because this is really more like Dawn of War 1 than Dawn of War 2. This is Dawn of War 1.5, if you call it anything. In a perfect world, I would have loved it if this game had tons of different custom modes, right? Have this mode. This mode is great for team games. It promotes like teamwork. It promotes proper pacing in team games as well, so that like people don't have like the super OP units right away and shit. That's great, obviously. It promotes diversity of like strategies and shit. That's great stuff. Because you gotta plan with your teams. Okay, we have a resource disadvantage. What are we going to do? Oh, we have a resource disadvantage. We gotta like attack this area or that area. You know, that sort of shit. I love that. But again, in non-team games, it's really bad. It would also be nice to have the option for players that don't like this mode with teamwork in it, or like, for example, with restrictions on, what was it, the resource rate that you get access to and the turrets that you have to destroy. It would be awesome for people to have the option to opt out of this game mode. I think, again, the big problem is the lack of choice and Halo Wars 2 did it well. This game doesn't do it well. Like, why am I forced to play this game mode? I should be given the option to play all these different modes. All of them. Why is there not a Dawn of War 2 control point, or like a Dawn of War 1 control point mode in this game, alongside Deathmatch and alongside this escalation mode? That's dumb. That's really dumb. I'm not a fan. So right, I've talked about elite units. I've talked about escalation, lack of power, and lack of requisition. You know, that sort of stuff that really prevents people from control. Talked about shield and turrets. Just the general boringness of the game, that you're being railroaded and stuff. In fact, that's really like a good point. This game feels like a linear, like, FPS campaign, which is quite unfortunate. There's not a lot of choices. Not in terms of the elite, of the units and stuff, but rather just choices in terms of like play and evolving strategies. That's all. Now, what are some other stuff that's like a problem that I have? Well, I would really have liked it if the Space Marines got access to all the little upgrades that they have access to. Like, make it like their sort of thing. The Space Marines are customizable and stuff. They can adapt to the battle and shit. They have flamers, they have plasma guns, they have plasma cannons, all that shit, heavy bolters. That would be nice. I kind of would like that for like all units to have upgrades, and upgrades that meaningfully like changed units. Stat upgrades are really boring. And this game shares that like design philosophy of like just stat upgrades. Oh, they're just dead. What else is there that I don't like? The campaign is pretty boring. Really boring. It's like a standard tutorial campaign. The only times when it's fun is the end. The end is just great. The end is amazing. But it's getting to the end, which is the problem. I think the balance is off for elite units as well. Like, some of them can just burst down armies and just annihilate them easy. I'm okay with the... I would be more okay with also units being faster to kill and stuff if, what was it? The resources cater to that. So if you're gonna have a Dire Avenger die as fast as it does, why don't you, like, you know, I don't know, have it so that, hey, guess what? Wait, what the fuck? Why are they just spamming that? Oh, I guess they want me to come over there. Even though the other guy isn't over there. Yeah, let me just finish this battle first and foremost. You see, I'm okay with my units being bursted down like that if the resources match that. Like, they just don't though at this current at this current level, and that's like the biggest problem. If the resources were faster, I'd be okay with the faster kill time. Otherwise, this kill time is really too fast. And the elite units kind of take it to the next level by having like those AoE abilities that are really harsh. Really, really harsh. They need to be toned down a little bit. What's next? Okay. Small nitpick, but I do not like it. Do not like it that, in general, there's no auto reinforce, or there's no auto, like, build, or any of that shit. It's really boring to have to constantly hit the R button. It really is. Like, why is it that I have to constantly hit R to build units, or L? It's really, like, eh. This is again a prime example why I don't mind the elite units. They just get bursted down by an army.
Battle has escalated to phase 3.
But yeah, not really a fan of like those aspects of the game. Really not. So what am I a fan of? Why do I keep playing the game? Again, in team games, this game's fucking wonderful. I absolutely love it. It's like the best thing fucking ever. It gets so crazy. The comebacks are just amazing. It's just awesome. The actual factions themselves are really well designed. I think these are like better designed than Dawn of War 1's like factions and Dawn of War 2's factions. It really feels like the orcs are truly the orcs, or for example, the Space Marines are really like the Space Marines. Well, these guys got stunned for a long period of time. Well, the Eldar really feel like the Eldar. It feels like these units are truly, just truly realized. Because beforehand, their unit rosters and their mechanics would be really small. And really, the biggest differences would be probably the aesthetic differences. Because otherwise, there really wasn't a lot of differences between the factions themselves. In terms of like unique aspects to them that really like make them stand out. But here I have a more like realized Eldar, a more realized orc. And again, I'm a fan of like the elite units, right? The aspect of like limiting the units, it's just like limiting them to 3 choices is a problem. Okay. So what's next? The big armies I'm a fan of. These armies are bigger than Dawn of War 1 armies, by far. Not as big as UA armies, but UA is a big... I don't like it when people say like this game isn't as good as UA. Guys, UA is a broken, buggy, messy piece of shit. That the design philosophy is to throw cool shit at the wall and hope it sticks. But in this way, they create like redundant units and redundant factions that just are just boring to play around with, except for the aesthetic like lore meminess. And that's another thing. I hate that the chunk of discussion with Dawn of War 3 was concentrated mostly on lore aspects of Dawn of War 3. To be honest with you guys, I really don't care about the lore in Warhammer. I just do not give a single fuck, and I don't think any like sane human being does. And really, like, in every single Dawn of War game, they've taken liberties with the lore anyway. Like, it takes like, I think 50 or 100 Imperial Guardsmen to kill a Space Marine. How do you balance that? You just don't. So you bring in your own balance. I'm just saying, the overall focus on that aspect of the game was really disappointing for me to hear. Because I don't want to, like, go into chat rooms or threads that talk about, like, what was it, the gameplay of Dawn of War 3, right? But then they're mostly concentrated on, like, insignificant lore aspects that really nobody cares about. People want to know if this is a good game or not if it's, like, faithful to lore. Though maybe people do care about if it's faithful to lore or not. In which case, I hope people, like, change their, like, you know, change up, like, what's important to them and focus more so on, like, things that really matter. What else was there that I liked? Sound design and graphics are actually great. I don't mind the lack of detail, especially since the armies themselves are just massive. Saint kills as well I don't really care about. I do miss that they're not in the game, but it's not like a big thing. It's not like that's going to be the thing that like creates a negative point, you know? I'm just gonna have to tank it. You see, every single battle in these team games feels like an end of the world apocalypse battle. Which is good shit. And that's what I want to feel. I want to feel like the world is ending and it comes down to like this battle or that battle. It's great.
A bone singer answers the call.
But you see how much problem comes with like having elite units that just require elite points? Now I just have this free like bust a move unit every single time. And the only limitation is cooldown. That's not good. And he can be healed.
Securing battle focus, regeneration upgrade, upgrading. Starting the upgrade.
Should have actually like had my infinity portal on a hotkey. Or whatever. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the game. I have the most fun with this game playing with my friends and stuff. But I think the decisions that Relic have made to Dawn of War 3 have made it so that it's really only viable in team games to ever play this game. Other than that, it's just boring. And you just have a lack of options to do anything.
Vehicle damage upgrade secured.
So I don't know what they plan to do with their 1v1 like aspect of the game, but that's going to be like something that's just non-existent, because why? Why even do that? Why have to deal with shield generators and turrets that don't allow you to end the game? Why have to deal with picking the wrong elite units that could screw you over? Why have to deal with the lack of control of resources or power to the point where you're just stuck 10 minutes meandering? You know? I keep saying Dawn of War 3 is like awesome and stuff due to the fact that the public is just really stupid, and I just like I don't enjoy where their priorities are on when it comes to discussion. Anybody who says UA is like something that we should try to attain is like really has a big problem.
Vehicle health upgrade secured. Unleashing the Eldritch Storm.
I'm actually fine with these Eldritch Storms that can, or not these Eldritch Storms, but these like abilities over here that can be captured and stuff, like, you know, the what was it called, the shit, I'm like losing it over here because I'm tired. I'm a fan of the Space Marines like ultimate weapon and stuff. Like, that's cool to like capture it and like use it for your own nefarious purposes. That's great. I'm kind of a fan of like super weapons being the thing, being snipeable on like structures and stuff. But this is fine too. Having like both aspects is great. Having it so that you need to
Enemy force engaged.
like, I don't know, having it so that you have to snipe a building in order to stop the super weapon is great. But having the super weapon be sniped and captured is just awesome. But having both of those at the same time.
Summoning Roflmasterscave.
So I wish they did that a little bit more. I don't like that the Eldritch Storm is just like a click and then right click and that's it.
The battle has escalated. Let the war host strike.
So yeah, that's my thing.
A bone singer ready to serve us.
What the fuck are these guys even talking about? Oh, they're pushing it over there. Pushing from the top.
Wraith blades answer the call. Power
I wish the balance in this game was a little bit fixed out. As it stands, there's no point in getting Eldar vehicles, but getting like Eldar Briefguard is just lit. Again, elite units points need to be changed out. Grable Angelos does too much damage for the elite points he's worth. Resources need to be just even the resource thing again. That's just the byproduct of the escalation system. So yeah. That's just all I have to say. Yeah, there's already maps that are like that have no turrets, so hopefully there'll be the option to remove the escalation system, and there'll be like more free for alls and stuff and all that shit. There are a couple things that people are mad about that is gone from Dawn of War. What was it? 2? That were in Dawn of War 2 that's not in this game. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this game is trying to be more like Dawn of War. Well, it's trying to appeal to both fan bases, but I think at its heart it wants to be more like Dawn of War 1 and less like Dawn of War 2. Especially with the focus on massive armies. So I'm okay with the lack of cover. I don't care. It wouldn't work out in armies this large. It doesn't work out in Supreme Commander to have a cover system. It doesn't work out here. Speaking of a little nitpick that's part of something that's not in this game, I don't like the fact that this game doesn't have any like defense structures that you can build. That's really eh. Like you can't like make choke points in this game. You have to work on the maps like design and stuff, which is okay, except I would really like that have a little bit of control and like build defenses for my bases and stuff. I guess it doesn't matter considering that, you know, your defenses are already locked, so there's that. Oh. Yeah, turrets would be awesome. Let me go ahead and use my requisition for something.
Dark Reapers shall join the battle. Vehicle durability improved. The Space Marine foe wield their ultimate ability.
But yeah,
Dark Reapers answer the call.
really, there's a huge amount of people that, oh god, I should have soul recalled out of you there. I'm really tired. I'm not, that's my only excuse. But yeah, there's a huge amount of people that want like it to just be like Dawn of War 2, but I'm gonna tell you guys this, it's just not gonna be. So stuff like directional control, cover, all that shit, that's just not gonna be in the game, and it never will be. And it shouldn't be, because it runs against the gameplay that this game is trying to emulate. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just how it is.
We have upgraded infantry damage. You can relocate to base structure.
We've secured resources for our alliance.
Alright, so what else can we go into talk with? Well, I've talked about the Dawn of War 2 stuff and shit. Lore I don't care about. Yeah, that's basically all my thoughts. See you guys next time.